Ok, ya voy a... It's a topic that we rarely cover, and I want just to mention that we are simultaneously doing a live here on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, and LinkedIn. So this program will stay recorded. So if you would like to access it later or share it with somebody you know could benefit from this fantastic, phenomenal topic of today, please feel free to do so. So, Carla, I just want to mention the topic of today is rarely talked about. So I am really looking forward that we are going to be uh, talking about very interesting thing about pre-construction and what we're going to do about it.
Favorite topics, to be completely honest.
Really?
I can go on and on and on and on and on about all the details because there are so many.
Okay.
Time, I really don't want to overwhelm our
Yes.
audience because as everything is 100% adaptable to each person. So not everything
Absolutely.
applies to one person. It's very important to know. And we can suit everything to the needs of each person. Okay.
Absolutely.
We're going to be talking about very general things, but what to look for when you are doing the pre-construction purchase.
Yes, thank you so much for that beautiful introduction, Carla. Absolutely. We're going to be talking about some pros and cons, but don't scare. We don't want to scare you away. These are normal situations, and as far as you are fully informed, all these purchases are actually very, very interesting, and I recommend them a lot. Uh, when you are fully informed and you have exactly your financial situation really well mapped out, because this will take several years. So you really need to plan out what's going to happen during these years, right? And as we were talking earlier with Carla, we were discussing exactly what to expect. And the first thing I started with, well, first of all, you need your 20% down payment for this project. But what is the great advantage when you are doing this? Well, because you can space out this down payment, right? 5%. Let's say the project is 3 or 4 years. Every year you're gonna overall. No, not every project is the same, but you will be paying 5%, 5%, 5%. So you are not decapitalizing yourself, putting just 20% down payment right out of the bat, right? So, and the last 5% would be on occupancy, right? That we're going to discuss exactly what occupancy means. But I would like to ask you in the meantime, Carla, when people get ask for your services and ask you questions about pre-construction, because I've had people that come to me and say, okay, I have the 5%, I'm done. No, it's not like that. You actually need to be pre-approved for the entire process from start to finish on the numbers of today with any lending institution. So I would like Carla to elaborate a little bit about how exactly what the institutions are looking for on these 5 or 20%. Would a lending institution disregard that you need 20% down payment nowadays?
No, no, no. They definitely approve you based on your financial situation right now. And it's a question that I get asked a lot because um, your when we're doing a when we're doing an application, we are making sure that all your profile meets the criteria for the lender to be able to approve you. And the lender would like to make sure that when they are doing a pre-approval or an approval for this particular project, they want to just make sure that you have exactly the same financial profile of today than 5 years from now, meaning that that you have the down payment already, meaning that your income is not going to change. Like if it changed for the better and it's more money and everything like that, is perfect. But one thing that you need to know is that the income, for example, has to be a full-time permanent position. It cannot be under contract if you're earning more money or something along those lines. You cannot just suddenly ask a car or extra debt for like some credit card debt or um, unsecured line of credit. All that is going to take into consideration when you are getting the real approval. So we want to make sure that you maintain the same profile when we start to when you get the keys. Okay.
Now,
Overall, the
people will be asking, Carla, but that's a very long amount of time. What if I need to change my financial situation? What if, what if I get married and my partner and I, we buy a car together because we need a different kind of lifestyle? What do? We call you to get another qualification. What do we do?
So I will say that before you change it, to contact me to see exactly how are you going to change that profile. Because if it means that putting that car under your name means that you're not going to get the mortgage, obviously I will say, you know what, don't put yourself in that situation. So I mean, there are ways. Just you need to ask first before signing anything else or spending that extra money, or if you want to switch jobs and you are switching jobs to another full-time permanent position, I don't see why not. It could be a good idea. We just don't want to put you at risk. That's bottom line. We want to make sure that you meet all the criteria today, and we want to make sure that you meet the criteria the day that you close, so there is no hiccups when
Yeah. No
when you're in the
surprises on the
process.
way.
No surprises. Exactly.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So then after let's say you get your occupancy, which some people who have never invested in this in pre-construction may ask, well, what exactly occupancy means? It means is when you are paying your last 5%, but it doesn't mean that you are paying the mortgage after you pay that 20%, because there's something we call here a phantom mortgage, right? And it's the time between when a building is finished and when it's legally registered as a condo corporation. And but it can still be in a limbo situation, right? Because before becoming a corporation, it doesn't have a title yet, so ownership cannot be transferred to you. And that means you cannot start paying your mortgage, well, because you don't have any deed, right? So what you end up paying instead is that occupancy fees, right? And it's kind of like paying rent, which go to the builder, not towards your mortgage. Okay, so but everybody who does pre-constructions understand this, and normally the normal period is between 3 months and 6 months, right? So you just need to be aware of it, that during this short period of time you may be kind of doing paying for your occupancy instead of a mortgage.
Yeah,
Okay.
and another thing that I think they should know about is the closing cost
Absolutely.
associated, because it's not the same as resale. The resale is very cheap compared to the ones from pre-construction. Elise is going to elaborate a little bit more about those charges, because there are ways to avoid these to go crazy to crazy amounts. So definitely
Yeah.
she's gonna give you some tips. But I'm just gonna say that if you're an investor and you're closing that um, um, property as an investment property, you are going to have to pay extra money that perhaps you are going to receive it back, but it's money that you have to have upfront. And it
Yeah.
could be, for add to your closing cost like up to 50,000 um dollars you need to have, like, from maybe like 20,000 that you will need in a regular scenario. Now it's double, so you just need to be very, very careful with this.
Yeah, yeah, thank you, Carla, for pointing that out because it's very important, right? So basically that it's called the premium. So every developer will have a base price for a particular unit or townhome or condo, whatever they're building, and then charge what is known as a floor premium. And so as let's say in a building, as you go higher in the building for a particular unit, most floor premiums in condos are like 1,000 or 1,500 dollars per floor in every unit you go up, right? So that's a premium actually, right? The higher you live. And usually if buying a pre-construction condo in Toronto, right? If there's people looking this program somewhere else, I'm just expert here in the GTA. You can expect out of pocket closing costs for that for more between $20,000 and $30,000 for a suite or a one bedroom condo, and maybe between 30,000 and 40,000 for a two bedroom condo or more, and depending on the pocket in the area you are. But that's not a lot of money, and let me tell you, because still pre-construction, if you have this building in pre-construction here and you have an existing resale building on the other side, it's still going to be cheaper. Okay, that's the advantage. It's just you need to know that you need to have that liquidity. Like Carla said, you need to account for that money up front, so it doesn't get you by surprise, right, Carla?
Yes. The last thing you want to do is run for money the last few days that you have to close your property. I have seen this a lot more often than not, unfortunately, that people are running for money just to make sure that they are able to close, because not closing means, you know that the builder will take every single money that you gave them as deposit, and this means 20,000, 20, not 20,000, sorry, 20% that you have given already to them. So imagine if it's a $500,000 condo, is $100,000 that you are just giving away just because you couldn't close. So the reason why we're doing this type of um, videos is because we want to make sure that you are prepared, because it's not about investment either. I think Elise and I, we both agree that is a good investment, but you need to be prepared
Yeah,
for certain things to make sure that it goes more smoothly at the end. And
absolutely.
and I have seen that a lot of clients go directly to the builder sites, and they sugarcoat a lot of things. And for example, Elisa, she doesn't work for them. She doesn't she doesn't really care about the builder. She cares about you as a client. And what she's going to do, she's going to make sure that you know inside out exactly what you're signing, and she might be able to negotiate certain things that if you go directly to the builder, they wouldn't negotiate with you. So
They wouldn't even mention it.
they
But
don't. Yeah.
yes.
And as an investor or as a first time home buyer, or somebody that just want to upgrade to another home or something like that, and not knowing all these little clauses, because let me tell you, the purchase and sales agreement that we get from Elisa on a resale, what is it? It's like 10 pages or something like that. like the most, like 10.
Yes, it's very short. Well,
Yeah, it's like
it's
less
very short when you compare it to the book.
Yes, I remember it. Well, like,
Huge.
you know, just comes to my mind every time that I'm asking the client for the purchase and sales agreement from the builder, and they are like, "Oh, you mean this?" And they just send me the first page, and I'm like, "Yes, but I need the whole package." And they are like, "You need the 60 pages," and I'm like, "Yeah, I need the 60 pages." Yeah, unfortunately, is something that definitely we need. Don't worry, you don't have to scan them. You just have to email your your builder and say, please send me the purchase and sales agreement. But
Yeah.
um yeah, yeah, we definitely, the builder contract is a lot more complex than a resale contract, and
Oh,
Elisa can tell you
absolutely.
all about it.
Yes, absolutely. And every builder has a different paperwork. And because they are so long and much more complex, instead of buying in 15 minutes like you have in resale properties in an overnight, okay, signed after 1 hour, you're the owner of the next property. Here you have a 10-day cool-off period right after you sign. So that's beautiful because in those 10 days, we can get really active, and we're going to be working with your lawyer and with Carla to figure out every detail because, or you, during those 10 days, if you don't put all your ducks in a row, you can actually back off, right? So, and that's the advantage, and the time is important for that. For example, like the Carla was mentioning about another fees beyond that what we mentioned, and they called let's say the development charges.
Yeah,
We can cap those. That means
the levy.
if there are some development charges that are priced now and before your occupancy, let's say in 2-3 years, those increase. It means they will honor exactly what you agreed on the paper today, so they don't go overboard and go beyond that. But exactly what are the development charges? They can be commonly depending on the area and the condos, but they could be capping for 10,000 or 15,000 even in some buildings. But the development charges are fees collected from the developers at the time, a building permit, when they obtain the permit, to pay for the cost of the infrastructure required to provide municipal services to new developments such as roads, transit, water and sewer infrastructure, community centers, fire and police facilities. Why they get that money from you? Because the city is requesting that money from them, so they're just gonna pass on the bill to
The
you,
bill to you. Yes.
right?
Yes, and that's why I was mentioning this, and I cannot stress enough the closing cost. I think is one of the areas where I have seen clients stressing more about that, and being able to get a mortgage. Why? Because sometimes when the builder says we're closing, you have perhaps, you know, 3 weeks to close, 4 weeks to close. We need,
Mhm.
it's like so fast. The builders don't care if you're ready or not. They just care about closing. And I just want to make sure that, you know, we are prepared for it. And unfortunately, the closing cost, we don't know for sure how much it's going to be. Like, we can have an idea, but like the bottom line is that sometimes, you know, when you are an investor or something, like, it could be more than when you are a first time home buyer, or you're going to be living in that unit. And even when you are going to get back some of the money as an investor, that you just need to give it at the time of closing, you still have to come up with that money. And trust me, coming up with $40,000, $50,000 in one shot, in very short period of time can be very, very stressful. So
Beyond the 20% down payment,
exactly, this
beyond.
is beyond the 20%. Like we are not even talking about anymore.
But still, okay, don't get scared because it's still really good deal to buy
Oh
pre-construction,
yes,
okay?
yes, yes, yes.
And there's always, like mentioned to Carla, there's always we have to calculate in here in pre-construction your plan A, your plan B and your exit strategy,
Exactly.
because sometimes you will not make it. And before we got into this live, we were talking, I was mentioning to Carla, right, what's going on with the interest right now. People
Oh
who
yeah.
purchased pre-construction condos years ago with a totally different interest rates, well, today
Exactly.
is a completely different ball game.
And now it's totally different. So yeah,
Yes,
definitely you have to adjust. And let me tell you guys that if the property goes down in value, the the lender will take into consideration whatever is the market value at the time that you are closing.
yes,
And if the market value goes down by 100,000 will come from your pocket. So it is very, very, like, I have seen the two sides of the coin, and I have seen people making a lot of money, and I have seen people losing their deposits. And what we want to prevent here is for you to lose. We just want
yeah,
you to we just want to see your investment growing and growing and growing and growing, and that's why
yes,
we're doing this live, to make sure
yeah.
that you know about it.
One of the exit strategies could be if you cannot pay all the way at the end, because once you get the occupancy, you need to come up with all these fees, plus land transfer tax, so many other things. But one of the exit strategies could be to assign the contract. It's called assignment sale. But now you have to, as an exit strategy, you have to develop that from the beginning. Not every builder allows assign the contract. That means while the building is not existing, you have a document, you have a paper, and that's the one you're assigning to a new buyer. Okay, before the occupancy. And now people are doing that because they are making numbers and they cannot get there, right? So they are selling it. I am not an advocate of buying a pre-construction with the predetermined idea I'm gonna assign it right away, because that is not a healthy investment. You should be holding to this for at least 5 years. Get possession on it, rent it, or live in it. That is much better strategy than thinking beforehand, I will assign it. Because as Carla mentioned, if you have to do that, there's so many things different out there that the prices might decrease. Because remember, in pre-construction is the same. Is a game of the offer and demand in the pre-construction market, right?
Exactly, exactly. Yeah, no, that definitely is something that, you know, if we um, um, have that strategy to make sure that, if something goes south, we are protected. That's the best scenario, and where you're gonna lose the least money. And on the opposite side, you're gonna be, making the money that you deserve for, investing in real estate or in pre-construction.
And all these sweet things you get with a new just recently constructed unit, right? Property. Everything is new. You can design the unit on your liking. You can change the floors. You can change the layouts in some buildings as well. And on the beautiful thing, you get an insurance called the Terion insurance, which is mandatory to provide to you by the developer, which can last up to 10 years, depending on what kind of development it is, 5, 7, 10 years. And every year it covers different things. Like, let's say the appliances are the first thing that may go sour, right? So those are covered for 1 year. Let's say in condo townhomes, you can even get 5 to 7 years in any malfunction in the structural part of the unit. It can cover windows, roofs, like entire construction is covered under that warranty. It's called the Terion warranty. So that's a huge advantage as well for those who are looking at new construction, right?
Yes, yes. And I just want to add one more comment on assignments.
Yeah.
You also have to be very, very careful on the mortgage side, because not every single lender approves the
Mhm.
assignments. Some of the lenders will say, you know what, okay, we will consider it, but at the purchase price of the person that first person that bought the unit, meaning that if they paid 500,000 and they are selling it to you for 600,000, you have to come up with the $100,000 plus your down payment plus your closing cost. So we just want to make sure that you are aware of all these details. It may not apply to you, don't get me wrong, but we just want to make sure that you speak to a professional before signing anything, because we want to make sure that everything goes more smoothly when you are, receiving those keys.
I'm glad you mentioned that, because I also, I have clients who tell me, Elisa, I just registered to these new developments with my email and my name, and he said you should put my email in, because then they know you're protected and that you're working with a professional who knows more details about these very long contracts and all the things that can be negotiated. So uh, please, if you have a real estate agent and you're looking and scanning, put your real estate agent's email down there. So even though when I send to my clients some developments, well, we do that precisely because I won't like to be the ultimate negotiator for my clients in these regards. Because when you sign directly, uh, you know, again, by law, there are things they will not don't have to disclose and they will not disclose. And then after 4 years, you find that you have to
All
do
the
as an assignment sale. And if you can't, because there's a lot of competition, like I mentioned to Carla, you will have to find joint ventures who will buy that from you in with private money. So so you can save something from what you are forced to do at the end. But don't worry, there's always many things that can be done. Pre-construction is it's positive. If not, we didn't
positive.
wouldn't be having
It's
over
positive when
100
well
bills.
planned, okay? It's positive
Yes.
when it's well planned. So that's all we want to do, because we want to see you on. I want to see. We want to make sure that the coin for you is the one that is making more coins for you.
Right, because we actually sending this message to the uh, uh, investors who are first time investors, who are small investors, because obviously this program is not for those who buy in blocks of 20, 30 condos at a time. They have a totally different financial structures and they are insured. So it's a different ballgame altogether. But
Exactly.
as you can see, anywhere here in Southern Ontario, everywhere you look, there are new developments going on because it's possible.
It is
It just,
possible.
it's just you have to
We need
watch.
it. We need it. We are like there is a need of all these things, and obviously it's really good. It's just that we just need to make sure that you're doing it the right way, and
Yes.
we are here for you. We have a lot of experience with when you first sign that paper with the builder, and if you want to do an assignment, which is totally different than resale. We have a lot of experience on that as well. And don't worry, just give us a call. I actually forgot to put here our uh, phone numbers, but here we go. Elisa's number is 416-939-4497. And my cell phone is 416, sorry, 647-456-6864. Give us a call and let's book an appointment where we're going to see your unique profile, and we're going to make sure that is all tailored to your needs. Okay.
Yes, and don't worry, we can even make the comparison to see if you really fit into pre-construction or
Ex-
if you're better off buying a resale property. All
Exactly.
that is done for you. And here in Ontario, the services from a real estate agent and Carla in mortgages, all our consultations are free of charge. So don't miss out and contact the professional of your choice.
100%, 100%. Well, thank you so much, guys, for listening to us. And don't forget to join us next week because we're going to have more topics of interest. Because, as you know, real estate is very broad. We try to narrow it down to different topics, and we want to make sure that you know everything that is available to you. And yeah, just follow us. And
Yes.
we also are gonna have perhaps a little bit of the topic. I think we haven't done a topic on economics, which will be very good for what's going on right now.
Oh,
Interest rates are
yes.
super high, the highest that we have seen in the last few years. And you may be wondering, is this really a good investment? So,
You got it, Carla. So I vote that this is the topic for next Tuesday.
okay, okay.
Yes,
And I vote
sounds good.
that if you can share with us how is the market reacting, so
Yeah.
all our audience know what's going on. I think is a very good way for them to make a decision at this.
Excellent.
Okay,
Absolutely. Thank you so much,
perfect.
Carla.
Thank you so much, guys. Good night, and we'll see you next week.
Bye.
Bye.